Welcome back. My name is Sharon Tinberg, and for those of you who are following this series, you know that I own Rags to Riches, and I have spent the last 2 years traveling from office to office, training cleaners in the field and working with the owners, reorganizing their offices. So since I've been doing this short series of clips, and today is the day I made the announcement that core training is now going online, partly because of the fact that I sure realized how important it was in the last 2 years when I've been schlepping a DVD player from office to office and on planes so we can train in the field. So since this is the day that I have made the announcement and brought it forward, I think it's a great time for me to start hitting the topic of training. I have learned many things over the last 2 years, spending 2 years in the field with your cleaners training. But today I want to talk about cleaner reaction. I believe in my heart that this is the reason why many owners do not teach their cleaners a new cleaning system. As I've said before, I begin my trips to offices by going out in the field the very first day and watching the cleaners clean. I do this for 2 reasons. One is I need to know how they clean. If I'm going to change the way they clean, I need to be confident of the fact that it needs to be changed. If they're already cleaning great, why would I change their process? So I do want to watch what they're doing now. I also go out there because I want those cleaners to not be afraid of me, to know that I am not there to criticize the way they clean, and I'm not. Actually, I'm not there to talk about their current way of cleaning at all. I'm there to teach them a new way of cleaning. So I just want to win their hearts, get them to believe I am a person of influence, I will be fun, I will not be critical, and look forward to spending a day with me training. Then when I spend the day with them training, I know how they clean, and I'm able to relate to some of the things that they do. So I'm able to alter the way they think and believe, which will ultimately allow me to alter the way they clean or their actions. Cleaners work awfully hard in the field to clean a simple repeat client. I'm amazed at what I see out there. Cleaners who don't wear aprons or don't use their aprons and are working out of a bucket are running back and forth to that bucket every time they need something different. Or they're carrying it all with them in their hands so they don't have to go back and forth to their bucket. And the stress level for them, because they're constantly tipping things over or kind of dropping things because they have so many cleaning products in their hands that they don't have any way to hold on to what they're cleaning. Which also, by the way, doesn't allow them to do near as good a job when they're cleaning it because they can't press hard enough because they're not holding it. So teaching a cleaning process is the kindest thing that you can do to your cleaners. And a cleaning process involves 2 areas. One is how does the flow in the home work, and secondly, how does the process work when they're actually cleaning the area that they have been delegated. I'm amazed at the number of offices that I go into, I would say 50% of them, where cleaners are changing the beds alone. That adds 3 minutes to bed changing and so much more wear and tear on the body because they're back and forth and back and forth. I think some owners were surprised to hear this. They hadn't been out in the field for a while and didn't realize that that was going on, which is the value of spending some time in your business, not just on it, if you don't have a field manager keeping an eye on this. The second area is, of course, the process itself. Take, for example, dusting. When I watch a duster in a room and they don't use an apron, they don't wear an apron, and they're running back and forth to their bucket every single time they need something, it's wasted steps they don't need to have. Or perhaps they carry it all with them and they have so many items in their hand that they can't possibly do a good job of dusting what they're dusting, and it's a lot of stress. They're coming very close to breaking things and knocking things over with everything in their hands. You want this to be an easy, stress-free job because they have all the tools they need and they have been trained to process. So folks, if you listen to your cleaners, watch what they're doing, show them a way that they can do it easier and better, believe me, they'll love it. A true story is when I was in Atlanta on the top of a hill, beautiful home, and the cleaners had left and they had parked on the bottom of the hill. When the cleaner I just got done training realized I was leaving for the airport, she said, "Are you going?" And I said, "Yes." And she went running all the way up that hill and gave me a hug and said, "Thank you for teaching me how to clean." Believe me, cleaners appreciate it. That's the best thing you can give them. Not health bars and water in the morning and attaboys in the afternoon. Yes, of course you have to do that. But if you want your cleaners to stay long term and tell other people to come to you, train them how to clean. Reduce their stress, the wear and tear in their bodies, and let them have fun on their jobs because they aren't going to get any complaints. Believe me, they're going to love you for it. I just received this very special thing in the mail last week. And it is from the office in Arizona. I just got done training. It says, "World's Best Expert, Sharon Miss Converse Tinberg," because yes, I wear Converse whenever I'm training in the field after I fell down and sprained my ankle. But ergonomics are not only for the cleaners, they're also for your trainers. And we do a lot of running out there, and we need to be comfortable but yet look sharp and professional. So to the Arizona group, Eugenia, Carnation Home Cleaning, every one of them is very special. Thank you so much. Still brings a tear to my eye. They were so much fun. I also encourage you to listen to the next small clip done by the owners of Amazing Maids. They put this process into place. They, of course, got core training, but did the process themselves. I did not go to their office, and they did a fabulous job. I would like you to hear from their mouths how much work it is. It's a lot of work. And I would like you to hear what the reaction of their cleaners was after they got completed with the project. I encourage you to purchase core training. It is now online. Most companies that do $1 million a year or more use core training as their major tool for training their new cleaners and their current cleaners. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you next time when I talk a little bit more about training.
So, how was the process received by the cleaners when you first made this change when you came home from convention?
Okay, so we opened in 2013, and I went to my first conference in 2015. So we had been cleaning for 2 years. And as you know, if you get cleaners who you're not saying, do it this way, do it that way, they all had developed their own methods. And so we had staff meeting. We said, you know, we got a lot of changes to make, and they were pretty skeptical about it. They were like, well, one of them was who's a pretty outspoken leader. She's still with me. She was like, "That's not going to work. It's not going to work. That's the worst idea I've ever heard." So it was a challenge. But when we came back, you know, I think I told you we changed our chemicals, we changed our equipment, we changed all kinds of things when we came back from the RC conference. And I told Royce, I said, the last thing we're going to tackle is this, you know, how they're going to clean, because changing behavior is the hardest thing you're ever going to do.
One of the things, though, that allowed us to sort of build trust with our cleaners is by going to 3-person teams, we really created a career path. Mm-hmm. And we told the people, if you stick with us and you stick this out, we're going to be able to pay you more. And the way that it works is, you know, we call our cleaners 1s, 2s, and 3s. 1s being the team leader or the supervisor. And we've been able to substantially increase the amount of money that we pay them now that we have a system in place where they are the team leader. And so that's one of the things, you know, when you promise somebody more money and you're actually able to follow through with it, you build trust pretty quickly.
Well, and you know, you reduce your turnover if you're paying them better, and the cost of training people and the turnover is so expensive that we have a lot less turnover in our supervisors and in our number 2 kitchen people. The bathroom position tends to be like a, you know, revolving door unless we keep people and we can move them up to kitchens. But now our old cleaners will tell you there's no other way to clean. I had one of my cleaners the other day say they went to a house and they were, you know, we were doing a move-in clean, and there were all kinds of people everywhere, and she said there were still construction people, and she said she got so discombobulated because she couldn't clean the way that we clean. She said we were so confused about what to do because we couldn't do the way that we normally clean. I was so happy to hear that, Sharon.